Mark Rogers, TV, talking some USC football with the Trojans getting near that April 15th spring game date that will conclude the spring sessions. We bring in Nick Dempsey from Conquest Chronicles. Nick, I was in Vegas this week looking at the board for the Heisman Trophy list. Sam Darnold, very prominent, extremely high on the list. Hot commodity coming off the Rose Bowl performance, but the offensive line doesn't protect him. There could be some serious concerns.
Yeah, so right now the USC offensive line is pretty much all question marks at this point. I believe none of the offensive line starters from that Rose Bowl game are currently playing right now for USC, either because of draft, graduation, or injury. So they, to start off, they lost Chad Wheeler, they lost Damian Mama, and Zach Banner. 3 of their 5 starters, they're gone. They've got Toa Lobadan, who went out last year with a knee injury. He's slowly starting to come back this year. They've also got offensive tackle Nico Fala. He has a herniated disc. He's not really doing much right now in spring practice. They're hoping he's back by player run practices in the summer. But it's tough to say with back injuries. Vianney Talamaveo has a small tear in his bicep on Tuesday. He had to go through surgery to get that repaired. So he's out for spring and probably player run practices in the summer. But they're confident he'll have enough time to heal and rehab, and he'll be back for fall camp. But that's 6 guys who they had last year who they don't have right now. So they're shuffling the deck quite a bit. They're bringing up new guys, the 2s and 3s, and sometimes 3s and 4s. They're trying to see where everyone fits, where they can be serviceable, trying to find the right combination of what works, because right now they don't really know what they have or who's going to be there come the fall. They're talking about Nico Fala, who has a back injury right now. He was the starting center last year once Lobanon went down, but because of his back injuries, they don't want him taking on nose tackle. So when he comes back, they might be moving him back to tackle. The whole thing is up in the air right now as to who's playing where. Now, the good news is Helton, since he got here, has placed a big emphasis on getting good athletes who can play multiple positions. So you can move a guy from, say, center to tackle or tackle to guard. So he's focused on that. So he's got a lot of guys on that line who are untested. Their names. You're not really sure what they can do, but they can play multiple positions. I think the other great thing they have going for them is that Sam Darnold is quite skilled at improvisation, and he can create on the move. They might have to rely on that in the early going into the season if the line is still trying to come together and they're still trying to find the right combination. So, they have all of the outside pieces. I think the wide receivers group is going to be great. The running back's certainly going to be great. Quarterback's going to be fine. But again, you win football games on the line of scrimmage, and right now we just have no idea if USC is capable of doing that. They'll probably get there, but right now they've got just all question marks.
And by my count, we have 4 offensive linemen in the 2017 class. You've got Andrew Voorhees, who's an early enrollee. Austin Jackson, the 4-star, appears to be the guy that everybody's tabbing as the next star along the offensive front, who's going to most likely be pressed into playing time, if not a starting situation. All right, yeah. Nick, elsewhere. I'm sorry.
These guys, I think, weren't expected to come in and play right away. But now they might have to, or at least be serviceable. I don't know if these guys will be starting, but they might get into the rotation early in the season. And so now all of a sudden, these guys that enrolled early, you're very fortunate to have that. But right now, it's just there's a lot of injuries, a lot of turnover, but there's a lot of very talented youth they brought in the last couple of recruiting classes. So it should be good eventually, but right now I think you have to be concerned with where the offensive line is at right now.
So for as much as these spring games, Nick, are overrated in many ways, at least once we hit April 15th and see the Trojans on the field lining up in a game situation, we'll get to see what offensive linemen they're placing in one positions, at least as a starting unit at this point.